Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Cancer. If Cancer is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so, Cancer, our card tonight is the Four of Swords, which has everything to do with making truce, right? Coming to some kind of agreement. Maybe not everything is worked out, but agreeing to just let it go, maybe. At least for now, okay? All right, so let's take a look. We're going to see what these tea leaves are going to tell us. And so if you would like to hit the like button, leave a comment, and or subscribe, please go ahead. I would be so appreciative. Also, if you do hit the subscribe button, if you hit the little bell, it'll let you know when the next readings are coming out, and it is free to subscribe. And so, let's see here. We have the letter F. The letter F, which is right here. And we have what seems like Saturn, Kronos, the Grim Reaper right here. You can see here's the head. Here's the kind of big robe, the body, and then holding the scythe up here, or the sickle. And it looks like it's coming down towards, we have a butterfly over here. And this is on the rim, which is kind of the metaphysical, spiritual zone. So I want to talk about this. Now, the Grim Reaper is kind of taken from, right, the imagery of Kronos. And Kronos is, of course, the same as Saturn, the god. Okay, so this is like the old man, right? The old man, obviously doing anything to stay in his place of power, including, right, trying to devour his children, which didn't go well for him. And we have also related to this image, this Saturn, Kronos, Grim Reaper. This is related to an alchemy, the first process. Okay, so this is the driving of the heavy metals from the prima materia. The prima materia is the soil that everything is made of, right? This is the material that we need to do any of the things that we want to do. If we're thinking about alchemy in terms of psychology, spirituality, this is really kind of our state of being, right? This is our well-being in general. Okay, so if you are going through this first process and you're driving out the lead, you can think of this as kind of relieving yourself of some of your blockages, working through trauma, shadow work, as they call it in the Jungian tradition. Going through and really trying to work on our coping mechanisms, our how we react to things, even some of the things that might come up in our psyche that are difficult to deal with, right? And that might be things that are addictions, our you know, our desires, our obsessions, whatever it is, okay? So I'm looking at this and I'm looking at the butterfly. So we know the butterfly really indicates evolution, metamorphosis, kind of the going through the changes that we do both naturally but also with intention. Okay, so the human self-development. And I'm seeing these two things and it feels like at times you can really be at odds with yourself. No matter how much you have progressed, and you could stop right here in your life in this moment, pausing this video and really taking a moment to look and reflect on where your life is versus where it was even 15 years ago, even maybe 5 years ago. Okay, now you might not be where you had envisioned yourself. You might not have obtained all of the goals and dreams and that star energy just yet. But I know that you have worked hard. I know that your life is completely different than it might have been. Right? When you were young, when you were a young adult, when, you know, maybe even when you were middle age. I see you really, really coming into yourself, becoming fully self-embodied, having a understanding of yourself that I don't know that you can have when you're young, you know. When I was a kid, or, you know, 20 years old, I guess, or whatever, I could not fathom what people would tell me. Oh, in your 30s, you'll start to figure it out. By the time you're in your 40s or 50s, you're starting to settle in a little bit more into who you are. And hopefully by then, right, you are prioritizing yourself. You are doing that self-work. You're finding things that bring meaning to your life. And hopefully you have some confidence in your movements, in your decisions, in your, well, listening to your intuition, okay? And so I'm looking at this and I feel like, yeah, all of this is very true, but there are still those lingering things. And some of them I think are from your own experience, some of them are conditioning, and some of them are just kind of the natural flow of life, right? I feel like there is maybe a fear of aging. Maybe there is a fear of, you know, transcending your corporeal body, right? Maybe you don't want this life to end. Maybe you don't know what's next and you're fearful of that. Maybe you're like a lot of us, and we have things we care about, right? Our kids, our family members, the things that we've built in our life. So I feel like this is something that, for whatever reason, it is really close to the front of your mind, okay? Now, it might be that you are going through some kind of bereavement. You are grieving in some way. Maybe it is just you turned on the, you know, the internets and you saw on the face machine that, you know, somebody that you went to preschool with or whatever, you know, you went to elementary school with them, that they sadly have transitioned. And it does. It brings it real close to our mind, you know. It brings up some of that existential fear, right? Our mortality right there in our face. And, you know, I think that at times when we get in, and of course it's natural to have moments where these things come up and we think about them, we ponder them, we might lament them a little bit, but we continue to move on, right? We continue to live and do our thing. They can become kind of crippling, though, for some people, right? And it can be something that really can stunt our growth, our evolution, okay? So now this might be a little bit of a controversial request, or a challenge, if you will. But I would like for you, okay, and I'm not telling you have to worship death. You don't have to join the cult of Santa Maria, although we do, or Santa Morte, my bad. Santa Morte. In my own house, we do. We keep an altar and everything, but I do. I think it's important and listen, we're right in Halloween time, so it's perfect timing. Putting up a little altar, a little offering, maybe for those who have passed before you, your elders, your ancestors, okay? Maybe it is just an offering up to death herself, right? I'm not supposed to say that word here, but I did. I don't know why, but apparently the algorithm doesn't like when we say that word, the D word. So I don't know. I slip. I forget myself. Yes, I think it's important. It's something that, hey, we're not all, just cool with going, right? We all have our own little anxieties about it. Some of us more than others, okay? But I do think it's important to recognize it is part of the experience of being a conscious being, a being with a body, And I think that when we live a life that is so devoid of the seasons of life, and that's the thing. We live in a world now where we are not part of the process of taking care of our family as they're transitioning, but once they have transitioned, somebody comes and gets the person, and they take them and they care for them. They get them ready for, whatever comes next for them, burial or whatever. And we are not involved in that for the most part. For most of human history, that we were the ones, right? We took care of our family, our community. We were hands-on. We were right there in it. Well, a lot of that is gone. And so it makes sense that we would have these heightened anxieties about something that is really a mystery to us, okay? So in little ways, I think it is very important that, yes, we remember, we live alongside both the beginning and the end, right? This is where the concept of the memento mori comes in. Right? These are like objects, or maybe a piece of jewelry, or a piece of somebody's hair who has transitioned, or whatever. They're reminders. They're reminders of us living right on the cusp. Okay? And that's not to scare you, but we should make friends. Or at least recognize this is part of everybody's story, okay? And yeah, so that really comes through. I got all of that from these. And next to it, though, we do have the deer. You can see right here. And so the sacred deer really is a moment of revelation, a moment, an encounter, a vision, some kind of exchange or a dream where you're having a visitation, something profound happening in your life right now, okay? I feel you kind of, it's like, I feel like as a kid, we're free, we're, we're plugged into that other thing. Right? We're real close to the mystery of life. and the awe and the excitement and all of it. But as we get older, it's like our lives get complicated. We start to have a big ball of yarn that's just in knots. It's all messy, right? And then we have, hopefully, at some point, these moments of revelation, of awakening. And we can look down in our lap and we see, look at all of this tangle that I have. Look at it. And you start to think, well, maybe this is why I have, stomach problems, intestinal issues. Maybe this is why I get headaches all the time. Maybe this is why, I don't know how to be fully in my relationship. Maybe this is why, I'm afraid to call my parents or, whatever. We have these blockages, these tangles. But when we have the deer show up, this is an invitation to begin the process of individuation. And this is the untangling. Not only the untangling, but the getting to know the parts of ourselves that we have hidden from, or we have hidden ourselves, right? The shadow. And not only do we get to know that part of ourselves, we don't need to employ it necessarily, but we come to terms with some of it. We allow ourselves to be who we are. We embrace ourselves. And this is how that tangle starts to come undone. There's a freedom in this work, but it's difficult work. Here's the other thing. Nobody's going to tell you have to do it. It's all self-led, which, my goodness, I don't know if you are like me, but it's hard. I don't like to stay on task. But I do. I see you in this place where you know that you have evolved a lot. I mean, you've become something beyond what you maybe ever expected. But I also see that you know that you have work to do still. But it's not for anybody else. This is for you. And you are in this part of your life where you are realizing that you need to prioritize yourself. I imagine maybe you've raised kids. Maybe they're getting older. They don't need you as often or as much, right? I mean, they still need you. Don't let me tell you that they don't. They do. But you have a little more time to yourself. And maybe it is. It is that thing that happens as we get older. We slow down a little bit. And we start to see, the reality of things come and go. People come and go. Houses come and go. Money comes and goes. We're here, though. The other thing that is always here is spirit, right? God, goddess. Whatever you like to call it, the divine, the cosmos, the high sciences, whatever it is for you. It is always there. And so I'm looking at this and I'm feeling like, there's this work happening. There's also an embrace. We have two people hand in hand looking at each other. We also have an angel here, and we have a person praying to the angel. So I am led to believe that not only are you doing this work, but I feel that you have somebody or you will be with somebody soon, not years out, but soon, that shares your passion for, maybe it's a religion, a school of thought, maybe you're in an initiatory system, a magical system, a spiritual system, whatever it is, I feel like you find somebody who is like-minded, who has a heart that matches your own, and that you too can live in grace together. And I do. I feel that there is a togetherness. Now, the guardian angel, that is high work to become aware of that energy in your life, to be able to witness it, encounter it, to be close to it. That is something that some practitioners spend years trying to figure out. But here you are stepping into that room. And I feel like things coming together. Now, it doesn't feel necessarily like some huge like fireworks and everything is happening and you're winning and you're winning and you're winning. You know, no, this is like over time. It's subtle. But this is good because it will stick. It's not just this onslaught of fortune and goodness and you know, if you've ever read about people that like read the lot or when they win the lottery, right? And then they're like bankrupt within a few, you know, a decade, maybe even sooner, right? There's that saying, fast money goes fast. So I don't think that that's what this is. This is like you are changing the course of your life and you are doing it incrementally. Okay? And it will stick. And it will stick. Okay, so we have H2. Maybe H2O. Maybe you need to drink water. Maybe it's time for some water. Stop for a second and go have a little drink of water. That sounds nice. I need some water too here in a minute. And this one looks like Eno. It reminds me of Brian Eno, the musician, composer, I should say. I feel like there is a word coming for you. There's a sacred word. Something you're somewhere in something you're reading or something somebody will say to you. Maybe you'll look up and see a billboard. Whatever it is, there is a word, an utterance that will reveal itself to you. And this will be a power word for you for this next period of time. So look for it, okay? It will find you and you will find it. No worries there, okay? Now, we're going to do our Oracle of the Radiant Sun. We're going to ask the Oracle cards, what is the next couple days going to be like? Not couple days, couple weeks. 2 weeks, the next 2 weeks, okay? And I'm going to do probably 6 cards. I always say 3, but it ends up being 6. Okay, so we have intuition, escape, authority. Ooh. You know what? One thing I've learned about you Cancers, I'm married to a Cancer, and I've had all of my favorite people besides my daughter, who is a Gemini, and my best friend, who is an Aries. Almost everybody else is a Cancer that I'm close to. And I will tell you, I have learned that you all do not like anybody telling you what to do. You gotta finesse a Cancer into doing, like, make them think it's their idea. Okay, extremism, drama. Ooh, what is going on here? Adaptability. Okay, so here's the deal. I feel like this is very much the time we're in right now. Almost feel like there's somebody in your life who is maybe very politically inclined, right? They're like reading all the things, they're fighting with people and arguing and saying stuff that just seems so unnecessary, right? And that's where we're getting the extremism from. I also think drama, okay? I also feel like there's almost this kind of policing how not only you, but maybe other people in the family, how they're speaking, what they're speaking about, what words they're using, what you're allowed to say, what you're not allowed, all this kind of thing. And I feel like you just absolutely get into such a defiant and oppositional kind of posture. When somebody starts coming in, especially if they're like way younger than you, and start telling you, you're not allowed to say that, you're not allowed to do that, you're not allowed to do this, this is not, we don't do this anymore, you know. And yeah, okay, I have room to learn. Absolutely. You don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. You don't want to disrespect people. You also don't want anybody telling you, right? There are other ways to talk to somebody about maybe that's not the right word anymore. Maybe that, you know, that's some, you have to understand there's some context that you're missing to that, you know, and you can talk to, but when they just come in and it's the drama and extremes, no. You know, I feel you wanting to escape, but I also realize that you're very adaptable and you follow your intuition. So I feel you really kind of disengaging probably for this next period of time, kind of going into your own world, doing your own thing, following this path of self-work, right? Being in fellowship and devotion with this other person that, you know, maybe you have yet to meet them, but I feel like this is the energy that you want to dwell in. You're not interested in what all the other stuff that's going on, okay? Especially the stuff that's like super, like out of our control, right? And yeah, and I do. I see you just kind of really focusing on that which really means something deeply to you. Okay, now I'm gonna do this 100-sided die. We're gonna pick 3 lucky numbers. What do we have? 73. We have the number 73. That's funny because the other day I said that's it sounds like an unlucky number. 73 for some reason. But today it doesn't seem that unlucky to me anymore. So 84, 73, 84, especially paired with 84. I love that. Oops. Oh, and 84 again. So we have 73, 84, 84. Let's do one more just for the heck of it. 89. Okay, 73, 84, 89. Absolutely the best numbers. All right, let's see. We have our inner child oracle cards, and these are just going to punctuate the reading. I'm going to go ahead, flip through, stop where it feels right, and it says, get lost. Yeah, the cards just told you to get lost. No. Number 15, get lost. Fall deep into the realm of imagination. Fall deep into the realm of imagination. All right. Okay, Cancer, I love you. And I want you to know that. And I want you to know I'm also so thankful to spend this time with you. If you would be so kind as to like the video, it helps the channel a lot. If you have not subscribed yet, think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Also, if you would like to leave a comment, go ahead and do that. I read them all. If you're new to the channel, definitely shout it out in the comment section. Yeah, and I think that's it. I'm interested in what everybody is dressing up for as Halloween. I don't know. It keeps changing for me day by day. I was thinking about doing a Mothman one. They have like Mothman onesies or like shawl things. I might do that because it sometimes really cold here for Halloween, and sometimes it's not as cold, so I don't want to, I don't know, I don't want like a lot of moving parts for my thing. I just want like one thing to put on. But yeah, I saw those. I thought those were kind of cool, but it's like the bringer of bad omens, so I don't know, I'm kind of superstitious about it. But yeah, I'm interested. What are you going to be for Halloween? And I love you. We'll talk in a few days. Good night.